Hi everyone. Hi Aileen. We are back with another episode of Feedback Basics. And today we are going to learn on how to create an NPS survey. So before we start, the most important thing when you start an NPS survey is you have to ask yourself these 4 questions. The first is why you want to run NPS. Is it something that you heard from someone that NPS is the only measure of CX? Is that the reason that you are learning NPS? So it's not the right one. The second, is it your management asks you to do so? Or do you have a particular objective in mind when you feel where you feel that the NPS will give you the right answers? So ask yourself this first question, that why you want to run NPS before you start it, because you should have a clear objective, not because the management asks you to, or you just heard that NPS is the only measure of CX. The second point that I would say, ask yourself, is NPS the right choice for your objective? So once you have decided on the objective, just think about, is the NPS the right choice? For example, I've seen people ask NPS survey just after the purchase of a SaaS product, maybe like SurveySensum. So you purchase the product and you get a survey. How likely are you to recommend us to a friend or family? How can I answer that? I have not even used your product yet. So, and the second thing where I've seen people do it wrong is after the support call. How can you ask an NPS after the support call? Because one day you have a good interaction, the other day a customer has a bad interaction. So how can they recommend you? Will their recommendation change over different calls? So think about that. NPS is not used for transactional surveys. Make it only for relational. Ask it, depending on your business, a quarterly or a semesterly or once a year. And the third point, which is very important, is who are you going to survey? So I'll pass this to the Aileen. Aileen, what are you going to say about it?
Well, what I'm going to say is when you decide that Net Promoter surveys are the right way to, or the right question that you want to ask your customers, then I'm going to suggest that you take into consideration what part of the customer journey is the right part to ask that question. And as Tanuj said, the Net Promoter survey question is not really a transactional survey question. For transactions, you might consider other survey questions like CSATs or customer effort scores. But in this instance, let's say Net Promoter is the right question. You want to find out how likely your customers are to recommend your organization. So in an ideal situation, you're going to ask all of them how likely they are so that you can get a real great collection of data and insights. But in a lot of cases, what we find is it's already too late. The moment's passed, the customers have been around for a while, but now someone's got this great idea and they say, hey, let's figure out how likely our customers are to recommend us. And they say, Tanuj, it's your job to go and find the Net Promoter survey score for our customers. Well, okay, that's great. But by now, it's probably a little bit too hard to try to get everybody into a survey result. So what I would highly recommend is getting a statistical number, a statistically accurate number. So a random sample of your customers, and ask them what their likelihood is of recommending your organization, or however that Net Promoter question relates to what your objective is. So a random sample of your customers that is statistically accurate. That is the sample of people I would recommend surveying.
Perfect, Aileen. So the fourth point that you have to ask yourself, or the fourth question, I would say, what's in it for them? Means what's in it for the customers? Are you going to take any actions on if they give you feedback, or it's just the measurement? So if you don't have an action plan, the things that will happen, your customers will stop replying to those surveys shortly, and you'll see a decrease in response rate. And the second thing, you'll cause dissatisfaction among them, even though if they were happy, that the company never listens to us or doesn't do anything about it. Anything like you would like to add, Aileen?
Absolutely. I would say one of the biggest culprits of Net Promoter survey questions is where I only see the question, the scale from 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend? But I don't see anything after that, asking what it was that drove me to recommend that number. And that, my friends, is where the gold is. That is what we call qualitative data. That is where we're going to really find out what our customers think and feel about our organization. A number can tell you a piece of the story, that is quantitative information, but it can't tell you everything you need to know. And everybody's going to have a little bit of a different take on why they gave you the number they gave you. So ask the number and help them know. And this is why I love working with SurveySensum. Help them know that you're going to close the loop on the feedback that they give you, and that it's not wasted, that it is a genuinely appreciated activity for them to help you serve them better.
Absolutely. Love that point, Aileen. I think people miss this follow-up question, which they should never. So,
absolutely. Put it in there. So with all of those questions answered, how about we go check out how we go and build a Net Promoter Survey in SurveySensum.
Absolutely. Thank you, Aileen. So let's build it. So anyone who logs into the platform will see this screen where they see all the projects that they have created, all the surveys, and they'll click on create a survey. So we have created a list of templates which are used by the customer experience teams, and one of this is Net Promoter. So you just click on that template, give it a name, and hit create. And the first thing that you'll have to do after you see the survey created is just put your company name there. So let's put Google, for example. And then the second thing that you have to do is set up a follow-up question. So on the right-hand side, you'll see the preview of the survey. And now you just need to set up the follow-up question, which is, you can, like Aileen mentioned, you can ask what is the primary reason for your score, or you can customize the follow-up question. If someone is a promoter, that means if they've given a 9 or 10, you can ask them, what did they like about our brand? Or if they are a passive, you can ask, how can we improve their experience? Passives are 7 to 8. And if they are a detractor, you can ask, what was missing or disappointing in your experience with us? So that's it. That's how you set up a small NPS survey in just 15 seconds. So there are multiple options on which how you can share the survey. So the first option is an anonymous link. This is generally used when you want to send the survey through your own CRM, or you want an anonymous response from the user. It might be when you're doing an eNPS survey or an employee NPS. Generally, if you talk about customer experience, you'll prefer an option like an email, SMS, WhatsApp, or embed in a website. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about how we can share a survey via email. So in the email, what the things that we can do is set up the from name. For example, Aileen wants to share a survey. So make the from name personalized so that people recognize you as well, the customers who are going to reply. And you can set up a reply to email as well, just in case if they reply on the email, which email address is going to receive it. The other thing that you have to do is send to a particular person. For example, I have to send the survey to Aileen, or let's see, I have to do it to myself. So this is just if you have to send it to a single person. Otherwise, most of the time you'll import a CSV file which has the list of contacts data that you want to send the survey to. In the last video, we talked about a random sample or every customer. Depending on how you are, which customers you are going to send it to, just push the files inside SurveySensum.
So much easier.
Yeah. And then what you need to do is you have to decide whether you'll send the survey now or you can schedule it for a later time. So currently I'll stick with now. Then you can check up the subject line, what you want to ask people, what you want to tell people when to share it. And you can just set up your email body, put the images as well if you want to, and then you're ready to share the survey. Click on send, and then you are done. Once you start when you're done with sending an email campaign, make sure that not every person will always reply to you. So make sure you set up a small reminder as well by clicking on reminders, so that you make sure that after 3-4 days, they receive a reminder as well, which if they forgot to fill the survey first, then they can do it later.
And I love that because it really helps, number one, remind the recipients that you're a real person, that this isn't just a spam bot. And number two, that you really are looking forward to hearing from them. So
Absolutely.
definitely from a customer experience point of view, set up those reminders and help your customers remember to give you that feedback so it's timely.
Absolutely. And set up 2 reminders, not more than that. Otherwise, the customers will feel frustrated.
Yeah.
The next part, which is most important, which Aileen talked about, is closing the loop. So the closed loop feature, a closed loop actually means when someone gives you a negative rating or even a passive rating, you try to follow up with them to understand in deeper details what happened. Because in the surveys, sometimes in the follow-up question, they will say, I don't like this app, or I love this app, but you don't know what they don't like about the app or what they love about the app. So doing a follow-up will give you deeper insights. So what you have to do in setting up a follow-up or a notification to you, you click on add new integration. You can either send the survey response to a Slack channel if you're using one, or you can send an email notification to your team. So today, let's create a closed loop email notification. So the first thing that you'll have to do is add a condition that when do you want to receive the email. So for example, here we are talking about NPS. In NPS, we are going to just choose detractors. So what this condition says, if there is a detractor in the survey, someone will receive an email which you set up. So today I'm going to add a task and set up an internal communication that whenever there is a detractor in the survey, I should receive a response that Tanuj, there is a detractor in the survey, please do something about it. So, and you can add multiples email here as well. The other thing that you would like to do, sometimes when you are busy, when you receive an email notification, you should know who's the person who gave it, what is the score they gave, so that you don't have to open the platform again and again. So what you can do is you can use this pipe text and put this score here. So there is a person who gave this score. Their name is this, and their email is this. So now, without even opening up the platform, you will receive an email notification which has all the respondent details as well. And then you click on just save and exit and turn on the notification. So now once you'll receive a survey response, which is a detractor, you'll get a notification then and there so that you can follow up with them. And that's it from the product side. Aileen, would you want to add something?
I think that is absolutely fantastic. And I know it's a click here and a click there, but after using SurveySensum a few times now, it's remarkable how quickly you can pick up the workflows. And just to be able to have a system that helps you close that feedback loop and really get in touch and connect with your customers and what they're thinking and how they're feeling because of your organization absolutely can lead to better customer experience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for today. And we'll come again next week with another new video and talking about how we can use the report section to analyze the NPS responses. Till then, have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.